I got a new hookup from my girl AJ, and I thought for ages, I thought this film was called Hunther, right? I thought it was called Hunther. And so you think, okay, yeah, that I can see why it would be called that, right? When you learn the concept of the film. It wasn't for a while that I realized film is not called Hunter, it's called Hunther. I was like, oh, that adds another layer to it all. Yo, so it is directed by Aleshia Cowser Jackson. She co-wrote it with Ivan Mbakop, right? The film is then produced by Jennifer Renee. It is executive produced by D'Anthony Bateman, Quinn Anthony Bateman, Shana L. Brown, Matthew Helderman, Luke Taylor, and Bryuna Williams, and also Mbakop and Cowser Jackson, right? It is co-produced by Hassan Johnson, April Parker Jones, George Pierre. So yeah, they get in on the business. Music is from Aaron Tyson. Mbakop also wearing a few hats. He handles the cinematography. We got Rashawn Thomas editing the piece. George Pierre handles casting. Aaron Tyson also is art direction. Costume design is Matthew L. Garrett. Hair makeup is Felicia Salanes Curel and Flavia Head. Yeah, I think that's probably, there's too many other people to mention, to be honest, people. And our cast. Well, we have got Morgan is being played by April Parker Jones. Her daughter, Lauren, is played by Jasmyn T. Curry. We then have Charlie, her new husband, played by Hassan Johnson. Charlie's friend is, I think that's Gordon, right? Gordon York, played by Mbakop. We've got her ex-husband Frank, played by Rico Ball. There's Art Sherry, played by Roxanne T. Mims. There's Judge Roberts, played by Terrence T.C. Carson. There's Paula, who is played by Erica Page. And we also get a young Paula, played by Kimberly Escobar, a young Gordon, played by Michael Brian Sanders, and a young Charlie, played by Jermaine White-Reid. We got Jim, played by Lamar Ladd, Jacob, played by Luke Lagraff, Mr. Johnson, played by Dean Fabian. We got the hotel receptionist, played by Rocky Shea. We have the receptionist, played by Triona Moore. The bartender, played by Anna Bushert. Officer Jensen is Eric Wilkerson. Lieutenant Dunn is John Schmidge. And Chris is Jennifer Renee. So yeah, that's our cast, people. That's our cast. And the gist is this. Newlyweds Morgan and Charlie Westbrook set off to Birmingham to begin their life together. Morgan's preteen daughter Lauren takes to Charlie, and the two develop a special bond. But when that bond goes beyond boundaries, residue from Charlie's past surfaces, and Morgan realizes she must fight through the virtual and literal prison that her once upon a time Prince Charming has built around her. Woo! That is the film. And yeah, like we open up and we've got, Morgan and Charlie just happy, right? We see this wedding that looks kind of fly. Everything is gravy. Now, there are signs, right? There are signs. Well, there's signs for something, right? And you wonder, like, infidelity, you know what I mean? There's signs. You pay attention. There's these long glances and all of this jazz, right? So there's all of this. Well, actually, the film actually opens up with shit from the past, right? So we've got like a couple, then the girl goes running out of a room. The guy's chasing her. It's like, no, stop. And you're just thinking, something did not go well there, right? That's, oi. And I hope that didn't go too far. Hope that, like, you know what I mean? Now, obviously, there's things like, hey, even if it's a growth, it's still too far. But you're just, you know what I mean? You don't want it to be that next thing, right? And unfortunately, yeah, that's what we get. We get then a court. And in court, I think in court, you probably realize what has gone down, right? I think, I think you can see, you know what I mean? I think most people will look at what's going down and be like, oh, I feel I know what's happened here, right? I know if, boy, I wouldn't want to do that, you know what I mean? And I feel it says something about you for doing that, right? Because listen, there's certain things that you might help a motherfucker out with, and there's certain things that you go, nah, son. And you know what? Lose my fucking number, right? So anyone that rides with that shit, nah, you're suspect. You know what I mean? Well, you're not suspect, you're a piece of shit. And so we see this thing, right? Because we get this whole thing about, me and Frank, we're close friends for life, and we would do things together, and blah, blah, blah. Some people said our bond was toxic, but we're friends. So straight away, you're just like, oh, okay. Feel this ain't gonna end well, right? But there's different kind of iterations of that we've seen in so many different stories. One goes to the dark side, one, stays the path, right? And it's that friendship that's weird and tentative, you know what I mean? But yeah, this ain't that. This ain't that, right? So we then see the court case. The judge is a G. Judge handles his, and then we jump to the future. All right, we jump to the future, and that's when we see Morgan and Charlie all loved up and everything gravy. And then it seems to go further. Now, like one thing that was a little, because you wonder how long Morgan and Charlie been together, right? How long they've been dated? Because there's one bit when, she's getting her Aunt Cherry to pick Lauren up from school, and Charlie's like, I'll pick her up, don't worry. She's like, I don't know. And he's like, yeah, I know you do, right? But I'm happy to do it. And you're thinking, if you're marrying someone, surely you're gonna be like, you know what I mean? You should be happy for that sort of interaction, right? But that's when things get super off, super off. And man, like the emotion in these scenes, right? It is, oh, handled very well. But oh man, you just feel super uncomfortable. It really channels that rawness, right? I don't know if it's everyone, but for me, I'm watching this and I am, like I'm angry. I'm feeling for these people. It is, oh, that roller coaster. You know what I mean? It's got you all up in your shit. And yeah, like great performances, you know, really just handled very well. And you're just wondering what's going to happen, right? What are the ramifications? Where is this going to go? And boy, I would say, you know, Charlie, right? Our Hassan Johnson. I feel he channels a little Springer Bell off in this, right? That's kind of like that's a vibe I was getting, a little Springer Bell off in that. And it's just, oh man, it is, oh, you just feel just so, ooh, you just want to reach through that screen and just give homie a slap, you know what I mean? But yeah, it does a really good job of just connecting to you with what's going down, right? Having you feel for these characters, you know? And this story just unfolds and you're just on the edge of your seat, wondering what the fuck's gonna happen. Where are these people gonna go, you know? Now, I will say, right, there were some scenes like the stuff in the police station just seemed a little slick, right? Little too slick. And the ending the ending got a little bit crazy, but you were down for it. You were definitely down for how this ends. Though I will say, dudes, dudes up in this, oh, you must feel so so up in your feelings, man. It's like when you watch the UFC and someone gets kicked in the nuts and you're just like, oh, you know what I mean? You just feel it through the fucking screen. Trust me, there's gonna be some similar shit going down, right? But although it's a little, like the ending's a little bit out there, you do feel there is a satisfaction attached to it. There is a satisfaction attached to it. So I will look. I enjoyed Hunther. I thought it was handled really well. You know what I mean? I thought it was handled really well, and yeah, I was gripped by the story. You know, it's not necessarily a new story. We have seen it before, but this isn't a bad rendition. Isn't a bad rendition. And yeah, the actors, yeah, did a real solid job. Real solid job selling that fear, that anxiety, the cockiness, just all of that. Boom. So yeah, if you want a film which is gonna have you on that emotional roller coaster, people, but yeah, have you gripped all the way through, then I think you're gonna want to check out Hunt Her, not Hunter, Hunt Her. So yeah, in AJ we trust, and she comes through yet again. So people on all your favorite VOD platforms, you'll be able to cop this, right? Information in on the website as we do. So yes, people, if this sounds like you, then yeah, go check out Hunt Her.